Welcome back, everybody. My name is Grace, or Gibby, whatever you prefer, and today I'm here with another Yulgar Only guide. Now, today we're taking on the Hard Bake Oven, which is the boss of the quest of the 2022 Frostvale gift delivery. So it unlocks the Nightmare Armor and the Nightmare Shield. Cool gear, nothing super crazy. But that's not the reason. I'm not doing this quest guide for the gear. I'm doing it more for the boss because some people had trouble with it, and it's an interesting boss. I think it's an interesting boss, a fun little puzzle to solve and how to beat it with gear restrictions. So my main items are the War's Legacy armor and the Rainbow Ray Gun. As you can see, I was scrambling the resists until I got to a high fire resist for the boss. And once I had a high fire resist, I'm going to start spamming the panic ability. Now the panic ability of War's Legacy is free, and it inflicts 100% melee worth of fear on the opponent. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because the Hard Bake Oven does not have freedom, and in fact it has a mechanic where if it's stunned, it can't regenerate SP. And so since it can't regenerate SP, if you stun it reliably, it does not use its SP attacks. Now it has two SP attacks. One is a simple fire nuke, and the other is a regen ability, which makes it heal up to 1000 HP per turn for a couple turns, which is very strong, which is why I don't want it to regen SP. So I'm using this armor to stack up a bunch of the fear status, which then translates into Spirit Shock on the boss, which simply is the status name for not being able to regen SP. So after I stack up many turns of fear on the boss, I'm able to just attack him down. And the gear I use is the Nerf Kitten Pet from the Guardian Tower, Duke's Dauntabidology, a fire shield from Yulgar's Memorial Shop, and just for fun, I use the ranged weapon gift box, because you can only use it for 1 month a year, and I thought, why not have some fun with it before it goes away? Other than that, it was a pretty simple method. I just thought it was a cool showcase of an armor that not many people use, and a status ability that's pretty uncommonly used, the panic ability on War's Legacy, which, interestingly enough, inflicts fear, not panic. But name issues aside, I thought this was a fun little showcase, and I wanted to highlight this boss because, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first boss that doesn't have freedom and doesn't have a break free of stun mechanic. It just ignores the stuns, which means that the boss doesn't actually cleanse the stuns. The stuns are still there on the boss screen, which is something that players have been requesting for a long time, because with most bosses, if they have freedom, you can't inflict fear. And if they have a mechanic that cleanses stuns, then you inflict fear and it immediately goes away. This means that you can't use any fear-eating techniques. But with this boss, as you can see in the video when I highlight the page, the fear stays for several turns, even that it's being consumed to put Spirit Shock on the boss. So that means that you can use a fear-eating mechanic on this boss. And we have a couple of fear-eating ones. The obvious one is Terror Eater. There's also the Ghost Hound from the Jack-in-the-Box set, or not Jack-in-the-Box, whatever last year's Frostvale gift boxes were, the energy one that does fear stuff. So this is cool. I think this is a great mechanic because now we can use status eaters on bosses more reliably. And it can act when stunned, but it doesn't consume the stuns immediately. So I think that's great game design. I think that's very freeing for the player who wants to have more options and more like freedom in how to fight bosses. So I think this is a great step forward in boss design. And if you're watching this, developers, I think that continue to make bosses like this with some kind of stun mechanic that lets you stack up a stun, but they can keep acting. And that way people can use their status eating however much they want. So I think that's great. So this was a ranger method. I also do a warrior method that is not Yulgar only. And the explanation for that will be at the end of the clip, or not at the end of the clip, at the timestamp in the video that starts the warrior method. So I'll peace out here, and I will see you again in a couple minutes if you're interested. So here is the warrior method. And I'm not doing a Yulgar restriction on this because I want it to be a more practical method for people, because the other method I did, I had to use an elescramble, and I had to take a bunch of time to stack a bunch of a weak status. So this method is just H series and Terminus Twinmaul, and then switching to a fire defensive armor to attack with. Terminus Twinmaul is great because it inflicts paralyze at a very high rate, and you can combine it with Umazin Aspis if you have celerity, which is another plus 20 potence. So it's very easy to just kill the boss and keep it stunned, or keep it stunned so that it doesn't regenerate SP. If you use boosters or healing pets and guests, you'll have a much easier... I was using Nerf Kitten for some reason. I can't remember why I thought I wanted to, but I did, and it kind of slowed me down because it wasn't a very useful pet. But if you use a healing pet and guest, your kill will be much easier than mine. And the basic method is just attack in H series with the stun toggle on, switch to a fire armor, attack, switch to H series, attack, switch to a fire armor, attack. Very simple, took down the boss. Admittedly, my HP did get very low, but I could have drank a potion at any time, or used a guest, or used a damage boosting or defensive misc, and then I would have been just fine. So that's a warrior method. If you're a mage, you can do a similar thing with celerity and necromancer's primal fear, or celerity and any fear spell locked to an armor, or stun spell locked to an armor. There's tons of sources of crowd control in this game, so you can just pick one if you're a mage or if you're another build and use it. I just thought these were two interesting showcases, one with restricted gear and the other with two very powerful warrior items, Terminus Twinmaul and H series. So that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. I have a lot of Frostvale videos, to be honest. I don't know if I'm going to put them all out at the same time, but I should have a Frostvale guide coming out soon to all the items, like I did for Harvest Fest and Mogluin. So do look forward to that if you're interested. Otherwise, feel free to ask any questions or comments down below in the comments. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Spread some peace and love today, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.